Hey guys, welcome back to Down the Stretch for races on Saturday, the 16th of August 2025. Looks like a fairly competitive 9-race program. Before we get started, remember to subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment and share. Okay, the first race, native bred 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3, and imported 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2, a field of 8. They go 8 furlongs. I'm going to boil this race down to 3. They're going to be the 5, Crown Chaser, the 6, Wicked Cassie, and the 8, King Pie. Okay, Crown Chaser. Shane Ellis up for Anthony Nunes. Last year's Derby winner. Came off a very long rest last time out on the 2nd of August, going 7 furlongs. And failed to spark, finished 5th by 10 lengths. But that was expected. Has his problems and hasn't been out in over a year. But if he shakes off that rust and gets an extra furlong to travel, and he's brought back really quick, so I think he's really sound at this moment. I'm thinking this Crown Chaser, if he turns up, is going to be the horse to beat. The 6, Wicked Cassie, Robert Halladine riding here for Patrick Lynch. When Halladine rides for Lynch, the horse generally puts in a big run. Just caught last time out by Oil Machine. I think her number would have come down if she did win that race, because she did cause interference to Oil Machine in the last furlong. But comes back here, fighting fit, stretched out to a mile now. Is she a genuine miler? That's the big question. Is Wicked Cassie a genuine miler? Well, if not ridden too hurriedly, too early, should stay out the mile. And if she gets a jump on Crown Chaser by the furlong pole, could have a chance. I think she looks like the main danger to Crown Chaser. And the 8, King Pie, Radish Roman riding for Anthony Nunes, stablemate of Crown Chaser. Well, King Pie has run against a lot of good horses, but King Pie is a one-run horse. This horse has only one run, and you have to save that run all the way to the top of the lane, or King Pie is just not going to finish. So he will one-pace his way into the frame as usual. He'll need a complete pace collapse to catch these. So if he's close enough to the field, by they reach the 3 furlong marker, and they begin to come back, King Pie is going to have a chance to catch them, but that's a big question sign. Are these horses going to run themselves into the ground and allow King Pie to stay on to beat them? I'm not sure. There's not really any bliss horses in the race that's going to really go fast. You have Hail the Queen. I don't know if she's going to tear away, and you have Hit and Run. So it does set up for a nice pace early. But are they going to cut throat themselves and allow a sustainer like King Pie to gobble them up late? That's the question sign. But for me, I think I'm going to go with Crown Chaser. I think he might shake off that little rust that he had on his first start and probably gets the job done. For Superfecta, I'd squeeze a long shot in. That will be the 1, Solace, with Sadiki Blake riding for Barrington Bernard. Last time out was in that same race with Oil Machine and Wicked Cassie, when coming up to this level, going 7 furlongs. Was way too early for her own good in that event. And under a more patient ride and settled off the fractions and saved for the stretch, I think she could make her way into the Superfecta at a good price. The second race, the Caymanas 66th Anniversary Trophy. Native bred 3-year-old and 4-year-old, non-winners of 4, and imported 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3. Small field of 5, they go 7 furlongs. Okay, although it's a small field, going to boil it down to 3. They're going to be the 1, Lockdown, the 3, Miss Grove, and the 4, Rocket Fire Seb. Lockdown has 6 starts to date and 2 wins. Dane Dawkins riding here for Howard Jagai. Last win came on the 21st of June, 9 furlongs and 25 yards, when won by 2 3/4 lengths, beating Alive and an unlucky Nuclear Jet in that event. So it does show some stamina. Ran in the St. Leger last time out, was outclassed there and outstayed. I think 7 furlongs might suit this Lockdown, being a pace horse, although his only 7 furlong run came against Prolific Prince, who won very impressively in 126, beating him by 23 lengths. His only other win came over 4 furlongs straight when awarded the race when they disqualified Don Quessy. But I don't think 7 furlongs is going to be a problem in this small field. Does represent, I think, pace in the race. Has worked well coming here. 5 furlongs straight in 102, first 4 and 48. And I think this Lockdown is going to flash speed early. So depending on how the pace sets up, is in here with a shot. The 3, Miss Grove, Dick Cardenas for Anthony Nunes. This horse has 7 starts, a win and 3/3. Back-to-back seconds. So in the last 4 starts, this horse has 3 seconds and a win. The win came at 6.5 furlongs when stalking the pace and then powering through to beat Princess Chris and 1,000 Treasures. Not much by competition there, so easily won that race. Then stepped up in class, 2 classes up, and chased relentlessly the out of class Ride All Day. Had Riches to Rags behind in that event, and last time out now going a mile. Pressed the pace, picked up the lead at the top of the lane, but was out fought by Unruly Mo. That was a better run there by this Miss Grove. Had King Pie behind. 7 furlongs, I think, is more to her liking. She does have pace to start the field. I don't think she's one of those horses that wants to go right to the front. She will stalk you. So if you collapse in the stretch, I think this Miss Grove will be the horse staying on stronger, especially at the distance. Has a nice work coming to the race. 5 furlong round gallop in 1 minute 1 and 4/5. Possibly, in my opinion, the horse I think they're going to have to beat. So Anthony Nunes possibly could take the first double, in my opinion. And the 4, Rocket Fire Seb. 3-year-old imported colt. Radish Roman riding here for Spencer Chung. Only 2 starts to date. On debut was 3rd by a length, going 5 furlongs straight to Miss Marbella. Came back after that on the 12th of July, going 6 furlongs. Battled the entire way before pulling off to win by 2.5 lengths, beating Sashon. They've taken the blinkers off of this race, so I don't think they want her to go too fast too early, especially stretching out to 7 furlongs. So they want to see if she will get that 7 furlongs, so they don't want her to burn herself out. Has a nice work coming to the race though. The shoot, she galloped 6 furlongs in 1:13. So she's coming here. She means business. And she could be anything. This horse could turn to be a very, very good horse. So I'm going to have to use these 3 horses. Fitness-wise, I think Miss Grove has the battling qualities at 7 furlongs to pull it off. But as I said, the big question sign is, how good is this Rocket Fire Seb? And are they going to let Lockdown just get to that lead and just pace them into the ground? So all these 5 horses, it's very competitive. I think it comes down to one of those 3. I'm leaning towards Miss Grove though, with her fitness and her fighting abilities. I like Miss Grove. The 3rd race, the Caymanas Part 1959. Naturebred 3-year-old, non-winners of 2, and imported 3-year-olds and up, maiden. Small field of 6, they go 8 furlongs. Going to boil this down to 3. They're going to be the 1, Star Quest, the 3, Bossman, and the 4, No Apology. Okay, Star Quest. Shane Ellis here for Jason Da Costa. Useful and consistent colt. Last time out, 4th by 19 lengths to out-of-class stablemate H2O. So I'm going to throw that race out. I think Star Quest was mainly in that race just to set up a nice pace for the stablemate. And the tongue tie was removed for that race. So they weren't putting it all together in that one, but still managed to finish 4th. So the tongue tie is now back on. So I think Star Quest means business. Active at the exercise. Does have a lot of pace. 8 furlong, I think, not going to be a problem. Last time at 8 furlongs was beaten 10 lengths, 3rd to Bob the Builder, who won by 10 lengths. Bob the Builder came back to run 2nd in the Guineas after that. So that's saying highly for this Star Quest, who is one of the pace horses in the event, and possibly the horse, in my opinion, they're going to have to beat. The 3, Bossman. Radish Roman riding here for Peter John Posad. Lightly race colt. Only 4 starts to date. 3rd on debut, going 5.5 furlongs to Summer Palace and Prolific Prince after coming out of those gates slow. Next start went 6 furlongs and 1, beating Slam Sharp and Prolific Prince. The next start out was in the Kingston. Wasn't embarrassed. 6 by 8 lengths to Sensational Soul. Last time out in the Guineas though, was prominent early, only 3 lengths off them at the half mile, but faded to finish 13 by 24 lengths. So I think he just went into the deep water a little too soon. Freshened up for this race now. I don't think the mile is a real problem for this Bossman. On the dam side, should get a distance of ground. And coming in here fresh, if the pace comes back, I think this is the horse that will be finishing the strongest, this Bossman. And the 4, No Apology. Aaron Satcher riding here for Edward Stanbury. Also lightly raced, only 5 starts, has a win. That win came at 7.5 furlongs, not beating much Mineola and Althea. Last run out was a 5.5 furlongs, going fast early, but finishing 4th by 3 lengths to Riley J and Duchess. Duchess has come back to win. So this No Apology coming to this race, fighting fit, is the other pace horse, I think, in the event. So it all depends on the tactics. Is No Apology going to try to go and tear away Fashion on the front end, being the horse that runs better sprinting, and now going a mile, he's going to have a whole 4 furlongs straight before he hits that turn. He's going to go, if he's going to go too fast too soon, I think StarQuest can track him. So I think the safe thing to do is to try to rate him on that front end and see if he has anything left in the tank in the stretch. So depending on the pace tactics, if they allow No Apology to get an easy lead, could be a very dangerous horse in the stretch run. Yeah, so I think it comes down to one of those three. I'm leaning towards StarQuest though. They put back on the equipment on this horse, and the mile I think suits him better than most. But if StarQuest and No Apology decide to get into a speed battle, it sets up perfect for Bossman. The fourth race, 3-year-old and up, claiming 1 million to 800,000. Field of 8, they go 5 furlongs straight. Interesting contest here. I'm going to boil it down to 4. They're going to be the 1, Smart Asset, the 4, KP Choice, the 5, Emperor the Cat, and the 7, Ridgeliner. Okay, Smart Asset. Ian Spence riding here for Tensan Chung. Disappointing favorite last time out over the straight course, finishing 5th by 5 lengths to Cosmic Force. I remember that day clearly. That's the day that race burst my pick 6. So, Smart Asset does love the straight 5 course. Runs his best races over this course. Does seem to have his problems. He has to get spaces in between some of his races. So that's telling me that, not the soundest of horses. But Tenzan Chung brings him here, I think, in good condition. He's trotting coming into the race. Has a canter going 9 furlongs. So I think he's sound enough to compete here. And over his favorite trip, even though drawn 1, it's only a small field of 8. I think this Smart Asset might put in a very good run. The 4, KP Choice. Shaheem Martin will claim 4 kilos for Patrick Lynch. Now, KP Choice is as genuine as you can find a racehorse. Last time out was second by 7 lengths, beaten by Emperor the Cat, who is present today. That was over the straight 5 course, carrying 126 pounds. So it gets a relief in the weights this time around. Before that, went 5.5 furlongs, beaten by Awesome Anthony. That was going around the bend. Last win was over the 5 furlong straight at this level, beating Rejected Raja and Generational. We have seen how Generational has turned around his form. So KP Choice, though, is a horse that does go very early in the speed. So if gets fatigued late, tends to come back in the race. Comes here, I think, fit. He's freshened up for this race. Not drilled at the exercise, but coming in here sound. And expect another good run here from this KP Choice, although facing old nemesis Emperor the Cat. Number 5, Emperor the Cat. Tyrese Anderson, riding well right now, claiming 4 kilos for O'Neill Markland. Now, this horse has bounced back into form in a big way, looking for 4 consecutive wins. And one of those wins was going around the bend, that distance that he never ran for a few years. So they've gotten this horse sound again, handling the course very well, trotting coming to this race, so just being kept fit coming here. Although claimed out of that last race, still fighting fit, and looks like the horse that they're all going to have to beat. And the 7, Ridgeliner, Amelia McLean, claiming 4 kilos for Winston Morris. Last time out was 8 by 9 lengths, but that was in overnight allowance against Money Market, Sensational Move, and Get a Pepsi. So I was not embarrassed there, although coming that race light. Before that, the class above this, 1.5 million claimers over the 5 straight. Start the pace, finished 3rd by 5 lengths to Sensational Move, who won by 4. So he's only 3/4 length behind Rani Bangala in that race over the straight 5. And before that was 8 by 8 lengths to Shokomo, Prince Aman, and Major Danger. His last win was over the straight 5 course, beating Smart Asset and Lion Charmer. Lion Charmer has come back to go into overnight allowance race and run well. So at the handicaps coming in here, taking off that 4 kilos, this Ridgeliner is awfully tempting coming into this race and expected to be one of the pace factors, drawn perfectly on the outside. If Emperor the Cat is beaten, I think it will be by Ridgeliner. The 5th race, native bred 5-year-olds and up, non-losers of 3, and imported 5-year-olds and up, non-losers of 2. Big field of 13, 5 furlongs straight. This is my headache race of the day. This is the race I spend the most time trying to work out. So if I get it wrong, guys, don't kill me in the comments. I'm going to boil this race down to 5. They're going to be the 1, Always Right, the 2, Princess Ifia, the 3, Bella Bella, the 5, Jack Daniels, and the 11, Electrode. Okay, Always Right. I'm going to get killed for putting this horse in this race. Okay, Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here from Michael Marlowe. Consistent mare, but I think the first time going to go over the 5 furlong straight. So hear me out. The reason why I'm putting this horse in this event. Always Right preferred distance is probably 7 to 7.5 furlongs, coming from off the pace. Going 7 furlongs, you have a 4 furlong straight run before you hit that half mile. So this horse is no stranger to going straight, but it's on the back stretch. So she has gone 4 furlongs straight on multiple occasions, but usually under a restrained hold because this horse is a late runner. So they're not going fast that first 4 furlongs. They tend to make the move when they hit that half mile turn and try to get closing. But on the 15th of June, going 7.5 furlongs, was only 2 lengths at the half mile off the pace with Papa Gray passwords and such horses. So had pace horses in the race and he was close enough at the half mile. So that's telling me that Always Right doesn't have to be too far off it going 5 furlongs straight. And I think the rider will be trying to get him going a lot earlier than he does going 7 furlongs. Another example, going 7 furlongs on the 6th of July was third by length at the half mile. The race won by Captain Philip, Real Identity and Charming Sound. Was close to the pace there, not his running style going 7 furlongs. But at 5 straight, I think he can get away with being ridden early. They've taken off the tongue tie now, which he does run well without the tongue tie. He has run well with the tongue tie, but also runs well without the tongue tie. So, although poorly drawn at 1, is my opinion the horse that has the best stamina in the event. And this race looks very competitive in the early pace. So if I think they melt themselves on the headlines, I think Always Right will be staying on strong at the finish. The 2, Princess Ifya, Radish Roman riding here for Errol Burke. Okay, this horse represents some speed in the event now. But speed going around the bends and speed going over the straight is a completely different thing. Horses who tend to flash speed going around the bend usually are used to when a horse is close beside them, eyeballing them, and they decide to kick on. Over the straight course now, you don't necessarily have to be right beside any horses. Well, this is a big field, so she's going to have to eyeball a few horses here. And she does have her early pace. I don't know if they're going to allow her to just shoot out on that lead, but I'm going to squeeze her in here because the services of Radish Roman, and she is one of the faster horses in the event and coming in here at a good price. The 3, Bella Bella, Philip Parchment, riding here for Dale Murphy. Now this horse loves the straight course, but probably likes the shorter version of it, like the 4 furlong straight where he was second by a shorted to Best Daughter-in-Law, who was a speed merchant. Had Kismet behind there. Kismet has been running some good races. Last time out back in May, over the 5 furlong straight course, was 7 by 11 lengths to Princess Aquila. So has been freshened up for this race. Not seen at the exercise, so possibly swimming coming into this race. Does have a nice late turn of foot, this Bella Bella. And if coming here, the right Bella Bella turning up here, I think she could be finishing very strong at that dash to the wire. The 5, okay, Jack Daniels. Robert Halidine has a ride here for Patrick Lynch again. As I said, Robert Halidine rides very well for Patrick Lynch. This horse hasn't been out since April when going 6.5 furlongs, when prominent most of the way, then finishing 4th by 10 lengths to Shwambi the Butcher. So that's not by any means a good run against Shwambi the Butcher. But before that, over the straight course, was 2nd by 3 lengths to Ridgeliner, having Princess Aquila 3 lengths behind. His last win was over the 5 straight, right with the pace the entire way before pulling off to beat Blitzstrike and Electrode. So this horse loves the 5 furlong straight. The visors are off, the blinkers are on. So they want this horse to go very hard, very early. Morning line says 25 to 1. Active at the exercise. Loves this distance. I'm not leaving out this Jack Daniels. Definitely have to put him in here. And the 11, Electrode. Now, Electrode. On a different day, I'd probably say this horse would be the suit better the day. Romara Spencer, claiming 2 kilos here for Lawrence Fremantle. This horse is the half-brother to Patriarch and Generational, and displays the speed that lineage produce. The mare, Electrifying, produces all fast horses, Electrode included, but Electrode does have lameness issues. As you can see, only has 7 starts, and he's 5 years old. 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So, consistent, although having his problems. 1 on debut, going 5 furlong straight by 6 3/4 lengths over Blinking Light. Next start, when stepping up in class, 6 furlongs. Second the entire trip, finishing 6 lengths behind Ability. That horse went on to win the Derby. Second to Okiobe Warrior after that. Then third to Jack Daniels. Came back and won going 4 furlong straight. This was March of this year. Beating Toots and Timekeeper, but finished lame. Then was fourth to Best Daughter-in-Law, finishing behind Bella Bella. So I'm thinking that leg problems there. And then was fourth by 6 lengths in that Princess Aquila race. Comes back here, just trotting and a canter, possibly swimming. And the reason I'm squeezing this electrode in, the trainer, Lawrence Fremantle, very, very good trainer when it comes to getting horse sound and ready to run. And with the speed factor of this electrode, if he's coming here fit, definitely have to squeeze him in here. But as I said, don't kill me in this if I get it wrong, but those are the 5 I'm working with. I think it comes down to one of those horses. I'm probably going to carry all 5. The 6th race, 3-year-old and up, optional claiming 350,000 to 250,000. Native bred 6-year-olds and up, non-owners of 3, and native bred 5-year-olds and up, maidens. Big field of 15, they go 5 furlong straight. Another one of those competitive race. I'm going to ball it down to 5. They're going to be the 1, Phonometer, the 3, Special Gift, the 6, Mr. Mandate, the 7, Little Groovy Thing, and the 10, Last Dance. Phonometer, Clive Lynch riding here for Ryan Williams. Third last time out, back in June, going 4 furlong straight after coming out slow at the start. 2 Phenomenal One and the Gifted One. Before that, over the 5 straight, was second by 5 lengths to Magical Mood. Does have some early speed, and even though poorly drawn at 1, has the speed to be very competitive in this event. The 3, Special Gift, Anthony Allen claiming 2 kilos for Gary Griffiths. Another consistent horse, but hasn't been out since February, when finishing second by a neck, going 5 furlongs round to Unruly Dude. Does run well over the straight course though, has a win over the straight course back in July of last year, when beating Potential and Best Daughter-in-Law. Had a third by a length and a half, going 4.5 furlong straight to 4-5er. So Special Gift, once fit, I think is swimming, should definitely flash speed early and have a shot in this event. The 6, Mr. Mandate, Everett Clooney claiming 4 kilos for Henry Harrison Jr. Third last time out to Sir Ganga Jamuna and Military Star. That was back in July. So coming here, not that long off, very fit, I think, once again, and getting that 4 kilo claim, giving Mr. Mandate a shot here, being another one of the horse that has some pace. The 7, Little Groovy Thing, I think the horse they're going to have to beat. Radish Roman, riding here for Winchester McIntosh. Last time out, 5.5 furlongs, third by 4 lengths to Sir Ganga Jamuna. Was a winner over the straight when last time over it, winning by a head, giving Joy Haynes her first win, beating Sir Ganga Jamuna that day, and came out of the gate slow. So from a clean break here, and with the champion jockey in the saddle, I think Little Groovy Thing is the horse that they're all going to have to beat. And the 10, that is Last Dance. Shane Ellis gets to ride here for Michael Marlowe. Third last time out by 2 lengths, going 5 furlongs round to Minnie DeWack. And before that was third by 3 3/4 lengths to General Chief. Hasn't seen this one going over the straight in many moons, but I think is capable. I don't think we'll be left too far behind. And if coming out of those gates cleanly and getting this good draw at 10, I think Last Dance has a good chance of pulling this off. But as I said, race comes down to one of those 5. I think Little Groovy Thing is the horse to beat, but very competitive race. The 7th race, native bred 3-year-old maidens, a field of 8, they go 7.5 furlongs. I'm going to boil it down to 4. They're going to be the 2, Royal Maverick, the 3, He's Sensational, the 4, Papi Uso, and the 5, Mineola. Okay, Royal Maverick, Radish Roman riding here for Patrick Lynch. Useful runs the last 3 starts. Last time out, 5.5 furlongs, second by a length to Proudest Vision. This after coming out of the gates slowly and was finishing very strong nearing the finish. Stretched out now to 7.5 furlongs. Does he get the distance? That is the question sign, not sure, but was running on last time out, so from a patient ride, I think this Royal Maverick will have a shot once again. The 3, He's Sensational, Shaheem Gordon claiming 4 kilos for Alfred Brown. All the rage last time out at 3 to 5, going 7 furlongs. Was pressed with the pace setter in that event and faded to finish third by 8.5 lengths to Pretty Brown Thing. So one of the pacier horses in the event, I think, definitely has the stamina, has a second place going 9 furlongs and 25 yards to Benison. So it does have the stamina, and with that run last time out, they've changed the equipment, the visors off, the blinkers on, figure 8 on. So they're trying something new. Still have to give this He's Sensational a shot, being one of the horses that will be on the headlines. The 4, Papi Uso. Dick Cardenas now has a ride for Anthony Nunes. The rider fell last time out. That was Rally Showman going 7 furlongs. So the first time this horse was stretched out, the rider fell. So the question sign is still there. Does this horse get past 6 furlongs? Going 6.5 furlongs back in July, though, was third by 2 lengths and was in a bumping match with Secret Sensation in the last furlong. Was only beaten 2 lengths there by StarQuest. So I think 7.5 not going to be a problem for this Papi Uso, who's getting his act together now. Kept busy at the exercise, and I think Papi Uso should definitely fight this finish out. And the 5, Mineola. Now this horse is a disappointing horse. It was a highly thought of horse early, well bred. Robert Halladine riding here for Jason DaCosta. Last time out when going a mile was bet down to 6-5 favorite. Stalked early but faded, had no punch in the stretch, finished 4th by 8 lengths to cut out. Before that, over the straight 5 course, missed the break and ran on to finish 2nd by 3 lengths to Bubbling Warrior. Had a good run going 7.5 furlongs when finishing 2nd by 3 3/4 lengths to No Apology. That race, No Apology got away with a lone speed advantage. So Mineola, if patiently rated, not too far off the pace, I don't think the distance is going to be a problem. Getting her act together, she's busy at the exercise. Jason now has put back the figure 8 on. And I think we're going to get a much better run from this Mineola. I think it comes down to one of those 4. So this race again is going to come down to the tactics by the riders. The pace horse, to me, looks to be He's Sensational. And if allowed to relax on the lead, they might not be able to catch him. Could make first call to That's All. But if somebody gets brave and decide to press him early, it definitely sets up for a horse possibly like Papi Uso. The 8th race, native bred, 3-year-old maiden fillies, 13 starters. They go 6.5 furlongs. Another very competitive race. Going to have to boil this race down to 5. They're going to be the 1, Sparkling Fire, the 2, True Blue, the 5, Miss Brayton, the 8, Dreamer's Corner, and the 9, She's My Dream. Okay, Sparkling Fire. Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here for Omar Williams. Turned up last time out, going 5.5 furlongs, finishing 3rd by 3 lengths, prominent the entire way. Was only carrying 106 pounds there, but beaten by a very useful Pretty Sassy. So with the well being exposed by this Sparkling Fire, bred for a lot of speed. 6.5 furlongs. We'll see if she'll stay out that trip. Morning line says 20-1. Going to definitely have to squeeze her as a long shot to watch. The 2, the most interesting horse in the race to me, is True Blue. Shane Ellis riding for Anthony Nunes. Extremely well-bred horse. Sensational slam out of True Blue. 2 starts to date. On debut, back in January, 6.5 furlongs. Stayed on to finish 3rd by 5 lengths to Sensational Soul after coming out of the gate slow. Next start was the next month, February, going 5.5 furlongs. So cutting distance. Prominent early, but then faded to finish 7 by 14 lengths to Hansa and Linguist. 2 very useful horses. So looks to have a problem after that. Has been put down, freshened up by Anthony Nunes. Hasn't been drilled coming into this. So I don't know if this race is just to get off a little rust or if he's coming all out here. Had a workout with stablemate Perfect Affair on the 26th of July, 5 furlongs in 104.4. So not really drilling to come into this race. But I think is a horse with a ton of potential, and has taken off the visors and now put on the tongue tie. So I'm expecting, if this True Blue is coming to run, to put in a big run. The 5, possibly the horse they're going to all have to beat, Miss Brayton. O'Neill Mullins riding here for Ricardo Brown. Very consistent right now. Last time it was 2nd by half a length to Altogether. Had Dreamer's Corner behind in that race going 5.5 furlongs. Before that at a mile was 3rd by 7 lengths to Cut Out. So I don't think this trip is going to be a problem to Miss Brayton. The only thing's gone up in the handicaps is now 5 pounds heavier than the last run. But being fit right now coming into this race, does have some pace, doesn't have to be too far back early. I think this Miss Brayton is in here with a shot and possibly the horse to beat. The 8, Dreamer's Corner. Now, Dreamer's Corner, Omar Walker riding for Ian Passad. Lighter race, only 2 starts so far. On debut back in July, going 5 furlongs round. Pressed the pace early, but faded to finish 5th by 6 lengths to Duchess and Legal Fight. And altogether, all 3 of those horses have come back to win. Last time out, 2nd of August, going 5.5 furlongs when they put on the cheek pieces. Made the running, but was outkicked in the stretch to finish 3rd to Altogether and Miss Brayton. They have now put on the tongue tie on this Dreamer's Corner. Much better for that last run. Had a strode coming into this race, 6 furlongs in 124, so kept up to work. And once again, Dreamer's Corner could possibly try to make all the running in this event. And the 9, She's My Dream, Clive Lynch riding for Ian Alexander. Only 3 starts to date. On debut was beaten 18 lengths by Margarita, then came back, was not embarrassed when finishing 4th by 11 lengths to Woman in Love. That horse finished 2nd in the Oaks. Duchess was 2nd in that race, and Bubbling Warrior finished 3rd. Bubbling Warrior has come back to win. Duchess has come back to win twice. She's My Dream broke slow that day, so was not embarrassed. Last time out was back in July, going 6 furlongs. When getting Lasix for the first time, tried to make all the running, but faltered in deep stretch, finishing 3rd by 7 lengths to Alchemy of Soul. This horse came back to run well in the Derby. Secret Sensation was 3rd there, and She's My Dream had a slow start. Kept up at exercise, and from a clean break, even from the head of the scales, I'm expecting a big run from this She Is My Dreams. But as I said, ultra competitive race. Horses with question signs, but with potential, namely True Blue and this She's My Dream. But as I said, I'll probably carry all 5 in this race. The 9th and final, the feature event, the Arthur Jones Memorial Cup. 3 years and up, overnight allowance, nice field of 11, going 6 furlongs. Going to boil it down to 4. They're going to be the 1, Mamma Mia, the 3, Fearless Force, the 7, Teflon Don, and the 8, Perfect Brew. Mamma Mia, Robert Halladine riding here for Jason DaCosta, coming in at top weight, 126 pounds. Stepping back down to overnight company after that last run at 8 furlongs to stablemate Fun Can't Done when being the rabbit of the event. Before that, at this level, at 8 furlongs, tried to set the pace up for stablemate Gurvana, but ran up into the big Ride All Day. So ease in competition here for this Mamma Mia. Definitely one of the speedier horses in the event, and Mamma Mia looks like the horse they're going to have to catch and beat. The 3, Fearless Force, Tyrese Anderson claiming 4 kilos here for Philip Fiani. Last time out was 6 by 11 lengths, going 8 furlongs at this level. I'm going to excuse that run. That was a race that Delroy Bihari was suspended for not riding through Fearless Force throughout the race. Before that was 5th by a length and 3/4, going 7 furlongs. 2 interesting times ahead, Major Danger and Blue Vinyl. Broke slow that day and still came home flying. Had a win in overnight allowance, non-winners of an overnight allowance race, going 7 furlongs by 7 lengths, beating Sheer Delight in a very easy manner in 125. So if the right Fearless Force turns up and gets a good start, coming in so light, Fearless Force is a danger to all and sundry. The 7, Teflon Don. Okay, vastly improved Teflon Don. Shane Ellis riding here for Jason DaCosta. Made all the running last time, stole it, opened up early, and hung on to win by a length and a half from Cookie Day and Night. Before that, going 7 furlongs, was a no factor, beaten 10 by 20 lengths to Immeasurable Draw. I want to throw that race out. I don't think Teflon Don was really putting it all in that event. Had a 3rd, going 5 furlongs straight at this level by 4 lengths to Fearless Soul and Money Market, coming out of the gate slow. So with Teflon Don improving at the right time, looks like he's finding his peak form, has a nice work coming into the race, 5.5 furlongs in 108 and 3, giving Teflon Don an outsider's shot once again to put in a big run. And the 8, Perfect Brew, Radish Roman riding here for Richard Azan. Last time out was 7 by 14 lengths to Ride All Day in that same race, going a mile. Wasn't putting it in at all, was way behind the field for the most of the way and didn't fire. Before that, at 6.5 furlongs, was 3rd by 5 lengths to Kem and the Head Cornerstone. When focused, this Perfect Brew is very, very capable of winning a race like this. Versatile, runs over multiple distances, can sprint and can also go routes. Had a second over 9 furlongs and 25 yards back in March to Geolithic. Had a third going 6 furlongs to Unspun and Unbelievable Force coming out of the gate slow. So it does have a problem sometimes at the start. So from a clean break here, working well, gets Radish Roman in the saddle, expecting another good run from this Perfect Brew. But as I said, Mamma Mia looks like the horse they're going to have to catch and beat. But Fearless Force coming in so light and from a clean break, I think will be the horse finishing the strongest in the stretch. Okay guys, hope we have some luck, and as always, stay safe.